That's a great question. We see so many AI solutions that have been stuck in the pilot purgatory. To me, it seems there are several factors that you need to put in place in order to really accelerate the development and scale up the rollout of your solutions. First and foremost is, what is the actual business problem? You need to define that. It doesn't matter if the tool you're using is AI or if it's an old bioinformatics machine learning tool. You really need to define and articulate the problem and the potential value of the solution. You need to know who your stakeholders are, why do they care about solving this, and what is it worth to them. So quantifying the ROI is of critical importance. We also see that more and more solutions to get successfully deployed, they really require a cross-functional collaboration. So you need to bring not only the business, R&D, but you also need IT, legal, even human resources for talent recruitment. And in order for all of them to really collaborate and contribute, you absolutely need to define their incentives and make sure that they're aligned. And I don't mean just getting them all excited, to jump on the bandwagon. I really mean hardwired incentives, goals, financial objectives. And ultimately, you want the solution to also integrate with your operational plan. What are your core processes and how does the solution fit in? And last but not least is executive sponsorship, right? You can do all the grassroots work that you are able to, but in the absence of that support, your solution will only go so far, because there will be instances where the ROI may not exactly be where you need it to be, and you need that conviction from executive sponsors to move forward and build momentum to finally actually show the impact. Yeah, so I lead our molecular design, so naturally I'm very excited about opportunities in discovering and developing new molecules. Actually, with Gen AI, we can design proteins that have never been known to humans before. When AlphaFold launched their model, I think at that time we only knew 20,000 proteins. Now we know 200 million proteins. So this is a completely new solution space that we hadn't tapped into before. So the idea of gaining access to new therapies, ideally such that they are personalized to a particular patient, is very attractive. And then when it comes to manufacturing, when our in silico engines produce results, we still need to make sure that we can actually make them. But even within manufacturing itself, we are seeing advances in AI where the notion of digital twin is gaining a lot of momentum. The idea of being able to do quality check, not after the fact, but while the drug is under development, to be able to do kind of real-time monitoring is very attractive. Predictive maintenance, to know that your equipment is about to fail before it fails. And then the regulatory bodies are actually getting quite savvy when it comes to AI. They are really trying hard to support innovation, which is wonderful. We actually use AI to even put together our regulatory dossiers that we submit to the FDA. And the FDA is, they've approved hundreds of AI algorithms in the past few years. They still need to see that you're compliant, and issues around security and performance, traceability, auditability, how your model was trained. But I would say this kind of whole end-to-end is moving forward together in a very fast pace. So, if you start from diagnosis and then target discovery, and then lead hit identification, lead optimization, all the steps up to IND, before you can go into human. I think all of those steps, we are seeing acceleration. People say you can accelerate time to IND by 3 times and make your R&D 10 times more efficient. So that is all true, but I think one very expensive area for pharma companies is, well, two. One is around manufacturing and one is around clinical trial recruitment. So in these two areas, we have already seen significant improvement in terms of identifying who to recruit for your trial, identifying what sites to train for more accelerated trial recruitment. Those are all areas that are showing great progress. So first of all, I think compliance should not be an afterthought. It should be something that you take into account from the very beginning. You know, we have our governance bodies, data governance, IT, legal, and risk assessment. All of those are engaged from the very beginning when we develop the solutions. But also with regard to you know, we have GDPR and HIPAA and CFR 21, Chapter 11. So we are following all of those. But I think ultimately what's important is to keep in mind the traceability, transparency, and the audit trail that's required to know where you found the training data, what were the biases potentially inherent in the data, and then what is the process by which you protect, like, personal health identifiers. You know, across Danaher's operating companies, we treat those differently. And so to build a compliance umbrella that covers the most kind of biggest common denominator, but then being able to fine tune it for every operating company is critical, such that you're always able to provide the compliance to all of these guidelines, but also provide security as well as maintaining the performance of your tools. Yeah, so this has been a great event, and I think what's happening is AI is evolving so fast, and everyone sees, it's like the big elephant, everyone sees a part of the elephant, but these forums are absolutely essential to bring the practitioners together to exchange ideas and learn from each other. Just at lunchtime, we had a fascinating conversation about where we think AI is going. So I think it's the kind of awareness and potential for collaboration and just exchanging ideas is tremendously valuable in such a fast-moving industry.